Are we live yet?
Yeah.
All right, because it's still. This kills me. I hit the broadcast button, and you're the one that gets the alert. It's still saying ready to go live.
Ah,
Anyway, I guess it is live. It's Friday afternoon in the ATL. It's kind of like overcast. It's like the nightly storm has made its way over to my neck of the woods. So yeah, we'll see how long it lasts. But anyway, who are you again? Let me give you your close up, Mr. DeMille.
the bold one, Nicole, and John Cold Eyes Lava. The cold one, the bold one. One of the two.
Man, you're just like yeah. All right, let me show you how it's really done.
Yeah, go for
I'm Brent Theory. That's
it.
how you do it. That's how it's done on a Friday afternoon. I feel like you did last week.
Why? Why?
You're all tired. I don't know why. You know what? It's
Why?
like I do too many of these things, man. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, I don't get it.
I really don't get it either.
Yeah, I don't get it. It's too
Uh,
much. It's too much.
it's too much me.
It's.
That's
You
the
know
truth.
what? You should talk to Monique. She's got a thing for Zoom fatigue. Yeah,
I'll make a note of it.
there
Yes,
you go.
but I'm not on Zoom.
It's
Got
same
nothing to do
thing,
with
dude.
Zoom.
Same thing.
Nothing to do with Zoom. Oh, look who it is. Are you on a link? I think I am. It should be on at LinkedIn. Yeah, it says it. Sven, check it out. Wait a minute. Oh, you're answering on well, I didn't even know
He's on
Periscope is really still
Periscope.
around. I thought they
Yeah.
closed that down. I guess they didn't.
I guess not, because
All
it
right.
did have the Periscope signal.
So welcome to watching Amazon and Beyond. It's a Friday afternoon. We take it a little easier, chill, add a little bit more humor, variety. At least I try to do that. And then
I don't
there's
try.
him.
I don't
Yeah,
try.
we know that we can tell.
I ain't trying.
All right. I got some
What?
stuff.
Yeah.
I got some stuff. You know what? I was trying to find like a good clip for this week. I couldn't find one. I don't know what all the clips were still about the Amazon sidewalk. We already talked about that last week.
Yeah. I mean, the clips are boring anyway.
No, I like to use them as setups.
Okay. Yeah, that's true. Well, you
It
can
keeps
always
me.
use a static one.
Nah, it's all right.
No.
Well, all right. I do have something that kind of broke. Let's see. I got this. It kind of broke just today. Let's see. Did you see this? Let's see if you saw this one. Amazon and other tech giants could be forced to shed assets or even split with this bill that the folks in the House are trying to. Actually, it's like it seems like it's a bipartisan bill too.
Yeah, but I mean, the thing is, nobody's seen the damn bill yet, so everybody's speculating over what it's supposed to be, say, and all that.
Bill could force e-commerce giant to split into two companies.
Yeah, who? Bill Gates? Oh
no,
never mind.
I don't think that's what they're talking about.
He's the boogeyman. He's doing everything else, making mosquitoes and everything.
Sven, try refreshing the tab. Maybe that'll go to my profile and see if it's there. I don't know. It says it's there. Just have to
We need to start doing it on my profile where there's some people.
Yeah, on
seriously.
Facebook maybe.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't use the other one, but it's a little much.
I don't know who Ken. Do you know Ken Caddy? He looks like he's addressing you. I don't know.
Dude, you're not funny.
Do you know?
I think he's talking. No, I don't. But thank you.
Like a poor man, stone cold.
Yes.
He's got to be talking about you, right?
He said, "Give me a hell yeah, hell yeah."
There it is.
Hell yeah.
There it is. There it is. I still don't know what's going on. Anyway, refresh.
But you know what? The thing is, he's on Facebook.
So, yeah, he's on Facebook. Sven is on.
So Facebook's working. Twitter's working.
I will say this: my man is fired up. Doing the hell yeah. You must know this. You must know Ken. You got to know Ken, right?
I might. I don't. I gotta go out and check it out.
Okay. Sitcom is retreat.
Oh,
All
he's
right.
trying to put a sitcom in there.
Oh, okay.
Okie doke.
All right.
But
So,
anyway, yeah, I'm not feeling that.
so I mean, it's like every piece of legislation that seems to be coming up has some kind of an Amazon thing around it. Now, this, I mean, I don't know. This literally showed up this afternoon, late this morning, early afternoon, or something. I don't know. Oh, he's got, okay. He ain't putting that one up. I really wish I knew who this person was.
Yeah, way to
I
go.
have no idea.
Way to go correcting yourself on that one.
Yeah. That's yeah, okay. It is Friday afternoon, so whatever. All right. No big deal to this.
Oh my God.
This ain't a big deal.
Yes.
It's not a big deal.
There's a couple of ones that I did see this week, but I don't know if they had audios. But what's the big deal? What's the big deal?
No, I'm asking you. This is House lawmakers are preparing to propose bipartisan legislation.
Huge. I'm sorry.
That could require Amazon and other technology giants to effectively split into two companies or shed their private label product. Now, that's, I mean, how many private label products does Amazon have at this point? There's a lot. There's got to be a lot of them. Look, I don't think any of this legislation is going to work. I don't.
Well, I mean, the legislation from again, it hasn't been put out there, but I read one post where it was saying that part of the legislation might be that Amazon would, like you said, not be allowed to promote their private label, right? So that's huge.
There's a difference between promote and make them get rid of it altogether.
You don't need to make them get rid of it altogether. Just trust and believe, bro, that the damn Kroger brand does not outsell the name brand. But only on Amazon does that happen.
Well, I don't know. Like when you go into, like I go to Ingles, and I think there's the Laura Lynn brand or something like that.
Right. You buy it.
Sometimes I do.
Right.
When I'm not really particular or finicky about a particular brand, yeah, I'll go with the kind of the cheaper option. But is that what people do on Amazon?
What?
Like if you're buying a pair of tube socks or something.
So, you know what? I did ask Amazon about this question because I'm doing a presentation next week on Amazon. And the number one question I got asked was about Amazon stealing their stuff. And Amazon responded, believe it or not, to that question and said that they don't steal people's stuff. But more importantly, he said the question that people ask the most is really about private label brands being promoted. And he said that they do not utilize any data from third-party sellers to create private label brands. Private label brands only account for, I can't remember what he said, it was a single-digit percentage of sales in any given category, and that the private label brands are mostly things that people buy often, like toilet paper and batteries and, you know, just regular commodities, not actual stuff. But I know that to not be true. But it was a nice response.
So basically, if you're selling like commoditized products, you know, you're basically saying, well, if Amazon has their own Amazon Basics that sells what are pretty much commoditized products, shoppers are going to gravitate towards the Amazon label for those commoditized products instead of buying them from whoever. Is that kind of the argument? Or
say that one more time?
So let's say you're selling tube socks,
right,
or batteries or whatever. And let's face it, most people buy that kind of stuff. They aren't looking for the label. They're just looking for the cheapest price for the most part. So you have the kind of the non-branded tube socks, and then potentially you have like the Amazon branded tube sock. Are they saying that competing against the Amazon branded commodity product is too tough for the companies selling the commodity, basically? I mean, I'm trying to understand what are they so upset about? It's not like they have their own kind of branded item, or
The
the
government?
folks that are upset about Amazon selling Amazon Basic labeled stuff.
No, I'm talking about this. The government.
Well, the government is getting this from lobbyists or third party sellers that are mad and are trying to say that they want a fair.
I think it's an antitrust issue. If you're taking your data that is supposedly third party data and you're parsing that data to show you what categories would I miss?
No, I'm looking at Jeff Richard. What he said. Don't buy them.
I buy them all the time. I think
I buy them. I don't know.
I mean, I'm only running my TV remote, and you get like 1,000 of them for $4, free shipping. So
see, now this is my buddy Josh Greenbaum, and one platform's commodity is another vendor's bread and butter.
But let me finish this. The commodity itself, how would you know that it would be good for you to get into batteries if you were not using category information to get into the batteries?
They obviously know how many batteries they're selling, right?
Okay.
Let's just say at a general level, the product category is batteries, and they are able to look and see just how many batteries they sell, if they're trending, what kind of batteries. Not necessarily the brand, but I mean, AA, AAA, whatever. Maybe if it's easy for them to get into that, it's not like they're selling against what are some of the brand names for batteries? I forget.
Right, but see, that's what I'm saying. See, that's because everybody thinks Amazon Basics.
No, or what is it, Energizer? Or there's a lot of commercials for batteries that you see, but they're not little. It's not the little guy that's making these branded batteries. So I don't understand. And if you're Energizer, most of your stuff is probably being sold through a market or a Walmart or something, right? I mean, I don't know.
Here, let me share my screen.
This is a big deal.
I know,
right,
just because. Let me share my screen real quick. I have static imagery.
Duracell, that's right. Duracell's another one. Yeah, absolutely.
Let me not show.
Let me see. Let's see. My buddy Josh said you hit the nail on the wall. So Josh is not going to be my friend for much longer. So let me just
hold on. Let me show you what I'm about to show you.
Cold Rice hit the nail on the head. It's a data issue that you.
Bro, you're biased.
I'm not biased.
So as you see here in this chart, these are some of Amazon's most successful private labels, and Amazon Basics is just one of them. The other one that you might recognize is Amazon Essentials and Amazon Fresh. But what people don't know is that they do all of these brands. And the top 10 brands that they have is, of course, Basics. Then they got Amazon Collection, which is jewelry. Amazon Essentials, which is men and women's clothing, bedding and towels, household goods, vitamins, children's clothing, women's clothing, another women's clothing. So it's like, it's hard for me to believe that you've created an entire woman's clothing brand without knowing which blouse was the most popular.
I'm sure they know which what kind of blouse. I don't know nothing about blouses. But what's interesting is they don't have a brand name. So Echo devices aren't really their own brand. That's kind of that would be like the number one brand. I mean, because 7.8 billion on Amazon Basics, that's kind of like nothing for Amazon. I bet they make more than that on Prime Day on selling.
What are you looking at where you say 7.8 billion?
That was on right there. It says market share by brand.
Okay, so let me go up to the top real quick.
Where's Amazon devices at?
That's not a brand.
But that's the biggest selling thing they've got, the Echo devices and the Ring. It's like Amazon.
Yeah, but who are they? So who are they? I mean, if we're talking about private label brands and regular brands, Why would anybody be talking about?
Yeah, but everybody knows the Echo is Amazon. It's like they don't have
But
to
I'm
put a
saying,
special brand on it.
who's the Echo copying from? It's a unique device.
It's competing with like Google and all this other stuff.
Oh, okay.
All right.
So anyway, yeah, you just gotta be in
much
the corner.
Ado about nothing.
You just gotta be in the corner. Anyway, obviously, there is. You know, what does this say? 70% of the searches done on Amazon are for generic goods.
Yeah, Echo and Ring are different products, but we all know they're Amazon devices. That's what I'm kind of saying. Let's see. I guess
this is an interesting.
It's a huge demonstrable loss. Look, anything. Let's put it like this: anything that Amazon does is going to get scrutinized. There's no getting around that, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, so if they enter anything, any market, I mean, are they doing anything that anybody else wouldn't do in their? I'm just trying to think about this. Does Walmart have their own brand? I don't do a lot of shopping at Walmart, so I don't know.
Of course.
Okay, so when
several of their
all
own
right.
brands.
So what is Walmart doing that's not? What is Amazon doing that's getting all the attention that Walmart is not getting the attention for doing kind of the same thing?
Well, I mean, private labels have been around for.
That's what I'm saying. So what makes now the time to split up over this issue?
I think the difference is that you are a marketplace. You know,
I'm just reading. I will take a free ride, Josh.
Trust me, he's struggling.
No, what I am struggling with is like you were getting ready to say. Walmart has been doing this for years. Markets do this all the time,
but they're not marketplaces.
Well, if you go into the market, that's a place for you to buy the stuff, ain't it?
Really?
Yes.
Okay, Walmart, so now I feel like I am talking to a kindergartner.
Walmart is the same. I mean, Walmart. If you're saying they got their own private label, why haven't they been broken up before? Because they're hundreds of billions of dollars.
I mean, that's apples to oranges, bro.
Well, if Amazon is doing the same thing,
nobody pays to be on Walmart's shelf.
What? Really?
Yeah, really.
You don't get to choose your placement. You can't do anything about that.
I mean, you might be able to. I think you might do something for end caps, which is a special promotion, but nobody is. Those guys go out.
Walmart even has their own store specifically called Marcus. See, I didn't even know that.
Well, they didn't work very well. I had one up the street.
So if it doesn't work very well, it's okay to do.
No, I'm just saying
really well.
They're not new. Man, you are tired. You cannot. Keep your brain straight.
No, what I'm saying is, if it's been going on forever,
I'm trying to explain the difference. There's a difference.
The difference is Amazon, right?
No, the difference is it's a platform for marketplace. That's the difference. Walmart is not a marketplace. Just said
Walmart had their own stores called markets. I don't know.
Okay.
Anyway. I don't.
Let's move on because this one
you can't understand. I'm just trying to understand if this is just aimed at one company.
All right, so don't interrupt me real quick, and I'm gonna talk to everybody else.
Oh, don't tell me what to do.
Don't interrupt me.
I'll reserve my right to interrupt if I want to interrupt. All right, you may speak now.
Just two things, so people understand. The difference is Walmart is its own entity. It goes out and finds products that it wants to put on its shelf, and it goes to the buy or the manufacturer or the retailer and makes a deal, says, hey, we're going to sell your stuff, and they put it on their shelf selectively. That's the difference. Amazon, you are paying Amazon to be on the marketplace, and everything that you sell on that marketplace, you pay them a fee of 15%. All right? So it's a completely different business model. Just because they look the same on the outside, they're not the same on the inside. And so if you're charging me just to be in your store and then you copy my shit, understand that people are going to not be happy. Thank you.
Okay. I'm going to go right to what Josh said. Well, I think the problem is Amazon is good at aggregating and analyzing data. Walmart isn't. Because if Walmart was as good as Amazon is doing that, would we be talking about Walmart instead of talking about Amazon?
But that's the difference.
So
that's the difference, is because at Walmart,
the difference is Amazon is good at doing this, and Walmart isn't good at doing it.
No, because Walmart.
That's what it sounds like.
Walmart is using its own data and it analyzes its own data very well. Don't get it twisted. But Amazon is using its third parties' data and making determinations. These are independent business owners that are creating businesses and doing business on Amazon, and they're using those people's private data and their sales. So if Nike's selling on Amazon and Amazon is using Nike's data to figure out which shoe to make, that is not the same as Walmart.
No, it's Walmart wishes they could analyze data like that. Apparently they can't.
Because they have to buy the inventory.
Or if you don't want to use the marketplace because you're afraid it's going to work against
because you're Nike and you're like,
you don't have to use the marketplace, right?
Go take a flying leap.
It's this whole thing. Nike should have enough money and resources to create their direct channel,
and they did.
Well, there it is. Then it's not about Amazon really. Okay. It's about the individual company's ability to do, get the data and analyze the data, aggregate the data, do whatever they want with it. Right? It seems like Amazon, they're not forcing people to be on the marketplace. At least I don't think there's a law that says you have to be on the marketplace. There's a give and take. You can build your own marketplace, right? And then you can analyze the data and aggregate it all any way you want. Right? Just saying.
I'm sipping this tea.
Yeah, you're sipping the tea. Because you lost again. That's why.
No, dude, you're so lost.
Unfortunately,
you know what?
You just
there's bigger things. There's bigger things in the world right now.
There are bigger things in the world.
Do you have another one? Because we're never gonna. You don't understand.
No, I understand that you don't understand.
No, you don't understand.
That's what I understand. I understand that if you don't like the way that a company,
I agree. Look, bro.
You don't have to be on that platform.
I absolutely agree with that. I don't disagree with that at all. However, if the United States government has a law,
if all sellers say, "Look, we don't like the way this marketplace is run, we're going to step away."
All right. So let's
kill that,
because this is not about the people or the individual sellers not liking. This has nothing to do with this. This is about the United States government coming down with an antitrust lawsuit. Okay, and
that seemed to be aimed at one
because they're the only one that does it.
You
can't name another one that does it.
Well, we should say they're the only one that apparently knows how to do it and can do it.
They're the only one that's a third-party marketplace. eBay could do it, but eBay doesn't do it. eBay's made that distinction that we don't compete against our own sellers. That's eBay's,
Well, that's because they don't have anything else their own sellers. All right, let's move on because looks like Josh is selling. Gentlemen, please. Oh, we just like a good, healthy debate. I feel a lot more.
That ain't no debate. You just want a debate. There's no debate here.
I like the debate.
There is zero debate here.
Yeah, there's zero understanding of who won.
Oh, because we were both talking at the same time.
We don't understand you. We don't understand.
We were both talking at the same time.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that.
Sorry about that.
I'm sorry that you couldn't understand me because he was talking.
Oh my God.
Can we go to something else?
I need a drink. Okay, thank you. Go ahead.
Wait, you got your own waiter or something?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my husband.
I did. Okay. I said waiter. You made it sound like John is, that's so wrong of you. Anyway.
But go ahead.
I want to talk about something else. What's a couple of masters. Oh, Josh. All right.
Yeah, better let it alone.
I'm leaving that one alone, Josh. I know. I see what you were trying to do there. Almost worked too. right.
Speaking of which, Jeffrey Tobin is back. Tobin.
No, we aren't going to speak of that.
We're
We're going to move on past that one.
He's back.
All right, here's an interesting one. Let me see if I can bring this up.
Okay.
Wait a minute. Why am I not? Oh, okay. Let me make it bigger too. Let's see. Why can't I get this thing to be bigger? There. Oh, that's really big. All right. So this article says Amazon ranked #1 investor in America. Amazon PPI, which Progressive Policy Institute, estimates that Amazon invested $34 billion in American infrastructure and created more than 400,000 jobs last year. $34 billion infrastructure in 1 year. That doesn't even, does that?
I mean, I don't know what to compare it to, but yeah, it sounds like a lot.
Let's see. I think, I mean, 34 billion. A lot of companies don't make that much in a year. Let's say the vast majority of companies don't make that much in revenue a year.
Yeah.
They invested 34 billion in infrastructure.
Yeah. I mean, they had to have somewhere to have those doubled up workers go.
Well, I think it's about, getting, remember you were talking about the rough early days of the pandemic and how,
not having enough space,
or not getting your stuff, not being able to find, your stuff, your orders would be, so they invested it, and I think we're seeing the fruits of the investment, because I don't think they're having any of these, they haven't had any of these big issues around that kind of stuff.
A little bit. They did add things to the infrastructure, and they also slowed down the number of people that a number of products that were able to be stored for third-party sellers. So, they did it on both sides.
But by doing this huge investment in the midst of a pandemic, no less, look how they're set up for after the pandemic. The infrastructure is
after the pandemic is going to be interesting.
What do you expect?
I mean, what we're already seeing is people moving back to, different shopping habits as opposed to online. So we've seen a dip and a rise, but we'll see. I think it's going to be very telling, to see how Prime Day does again.
Well, now that you mentioned Prime Day, something came in the email, and I'm trying to see if I can pull this image up, because it talks about the estimates for what people are expecting in terms of Prime Day revenue. Here it is. Let me load it up. And do you have any this is the trend of Prime Day over the last several years. All right. So 20, what's that say? 20, it's kind of hard to even see that, isn't it?
Yeah, the numbers are, but just read them.
So
2015,
2015, that was the first year.
I can read it.
0.9 billion. So that was 2015, the very first Prime Day.
So let's say 1 billion, then 1.5,
1 billion,
2.5,
2.5, 4.9,
4.25.
Last 2019. Now that was a big jump between 2018 and 2019. 419 to 716, and then 716 to 1040. So pretty significant year-over-year growth. And of course, last year they did it late in the year, right? That was October, which is interesting because we were all wondering, was that going to cut into the fourth quarter holiday season shopping, and it really didn't.
Well, it did for some retailers.
Well, okay. Well, yes,
it did for some retailers.
All right, so they had a guess of or a projection for what we're going to see in 2021. Do you have a guess? Because let's see, last year we were thinking about the pandemic. We didn't know what was going to happen, and the increase was just as big as it was the year before.
If they maintain this kind of growth, I'd be shocked.
Okay, so they didn't have this in the graph, but the projection for Prime Day, which is June 21st and 22nd, it's earlier than it had been, but just think about that. Last year was what, October, right? October 13th or something like that.
Right. And then normally it was in July.
It's normally in July. So it was 10 billion in October. That's about what, 7 to 8 months between then and now. So, we're talking about well within a year's time between Prime days here. So the last one was only about 8 months. It was 10.4. This one, the expectations, and I don't have a graph, unfortunately. So I just over 12 billion. So that's still over a 20% gain. Not
I
even
can see
year,
that's if they beat that, I'm going to be impressed.
but that's not even year over year. That's only 8 months apart.
Yeah, who cares? Man, shit. I mean, 2020 was like 12 years. So every month was a year in 2020.
Yeah, but so if you put it like that, an increase from then to now is still, if it's a 20% increase, that's still really impressive, because we were thinking that 2020 was probably going to be a big year because you couldn't get out and shop. Now people are out. People are beginning to get out, and they're starting to shop the way they used to, and it's still going to be a 20% increase.
They have free government money.
Well,
yeah,
that's true.
And people have been sitting on money for a while, man. They ain't been buying anything. And, I mean, there's so much. The industries that are booming right now are amazing. Like hair, nails, makeup, all the things, clothing. It's just really weird and travel, all the things that you didn't do. Now, all of a sudden, there's a rush to get caught up.
That's true. That's
condoms. That was crazy.
We're gonna move off the Jeffrey Toobin discussion once again.
No, but
I know. I'm just kidding.
That's huge. I mean, that's customer behavior.
Yes. Data. Let's press forward. All right.
My goodness. All right, but let me get one in, because if you
I want to address Claire. I just want to address Claire. She has I wonder how much of that $34 billion was invested in things like robotics and drone.
33 and a half.
It's got to be a lot. Well, I don't know if it's that much, but it's got to be a lot.
Yes. And what did we talked about it, 2 shows ago, where they had their first robotic warehouse.
Completely, robot automated warehouse built specifically for robots and not humans to do stuff, right?
Yeah.
So, that's part of the 34 billion, right?
I bet, because that just came online last year.
But that begs the question: how do you follow up 34 billion in 2020? Do you
have to? And spend?
Remember how much they made that last quarter? The profits were like 6 billion.
But I'm saying, do they have to spend more this year? Is that a metric they really are going after?
I don't know.
I don't know, but I did see a headline.
What for? What?
That he said he wanted to be the #1 employer in the country.
Well, they're getting close to that. Notice they said they brought on 400,000 jobs last year.
Yeah.
Sven is saying good night. Good night, Sven.
Good night, Sven.
See you next week. Get some sleep. Let's see. Josh, have you guys seen the actual PPI report? I'm guessing this is including wages.
I wonder.
Even if it's including wages, of course it's including wages. It said more than 400,000 direct jobs, so I'm sure it's including that. But even still, $34 billion in 1 year. That's
because you're saying, because what they said, they how many people did they hire? 400,000.
400,000. He said, I'm trying to find the actual. Yeah, if you do find the report, Josh, could you put a link? Send us the link, because I'd be interested in that too. I'm just blown away by the numbers of 34 billion and 400,000. They blind me to a certain extent. It's good to get in there and see. It's good to get in there and see what they're actually, the actual details of that. But those two numbers are astounding. 400,000 people got hired by one company last year.
That's 84. I mean, 400,000 times 85,000 equals 34 billion.
Say that again. I wasn't listening.
400,000 times 85,000 equals 34 billion.
So are they saying people are infrastructure? I mean,
I'm just saying it's easy to see if you put the number of employees
I don't
times.
think the average employee makes 85,000.
No, I'm saying times the support for the average employee, right? So you got to buy trucks, you got to have warehouses, you got to have machinery,
Jeff
you got to
is on a
have,
roll today.
So I think it could happen.
All right. Well, apparently Jeff thinks it could have all been spent on Gatorade bottles for drivers. But
empty Gatorade bottles don't cost that much, bro.
All right. Looks like Josh did find it, so we'll definitely be checking out the full report.
Awesome.
Yeah. Thanks, Josh. That's really cool. I'm definitely looking forward to that. All right. So there,
two things, man. I got to talk about.
Okay. I just want to see, did you even mention the who's number 2 and how much number 2 spent? All right, here it is. Oh, see, I should have gone to logistics infrastructure. Amazon opened more than 150 delivery stations, fulfillment centers, sortation centers, and dozens of communities to allow faster, easier, and more sustainable delivery for our customers. Green infrastructure. In 2020, Amazon invested in to develop more than 20 new solar and wind farms, new physical retail options, tech hubs and HQ expansion, COVID testing, advanced manufacturing. Here it is for Claire Juliet. Amazon built a robotics innovation hub in Westboro, Mass.
I wonder how much of that went to COVID testing. That's not fair that they put that in there.
The real data point is domestic capital expenditure, aka if you find that before we're done, because I don't think that's spotlighted here. There it is, the link to the full report too. But if you find that number out before we're done, Josh, shoot it over in a comment, because that would be interesting to see. All right. You got 2 things you want to talk about.
Yes.
All right.
Amazon and the new Amazon pharmacy. Huge.
Yes.
Huge.
Why is it so huge? Tell us why it's so huge.
I mean, to be able to get your drugs for $1 a month, they're going to sell you $6 for a 6-month supply of most of the most common drugs. And so that comes out to $1 a month.
Well, is the government looking into this? Or is the government looking into the breaking them up? Because that sounds kind of anti-competitive from what our.
How in the hell is that anti-competitive when the other one isn't?
Oh, that's what I'm saying. It kind of be like, how can you get excited about one if the I don't know. I'm not in the government. I'm just saying that. First of all, I love the idea because it sounds like it makes it more convenient and potentially less expensive to get. It's
going to disrupt the entire industry now because if Amazon is delivering it to your door for $6 with Prime, what is that going to say for CVS?
Goodbye.
I don't know if it's goodbye, but CVS is going to have to come up with something to make me leave my house and go to their store.
Josh is combing through the report, so he's popping up some comments. So we're just looking at it as he digs in. It's almost like we got a real-time correspondent.
It's awesome.
It's kind of cool.
And the other thing that I wanted to talk about, what is that? It says Z-Day. That's not what I want. I can't remember. Something else. But anyway, go ahead.
I'm just reading another comment. This is an investment. This is about how they spent capital on operations. The PR headlines. Good old Josh. Never pulling any punches.
I can't remember. I wrote it down so I wouldn't forget it, and I can't read my own handwriting.
Well, while you're doing that,
do something else.
I'm going to go off the board.
Oh, I know what it is. Hey.
Okay, go ahead.
I know what it is. That they went to a 3-day work week. So 2 of the days out of the week, you can work remotely.
Really?
Yeah. So they told them that everybody in Amazon only has to come in the office 3 days out of the week.
And they work like regular 8 hours.
Yeah.
And they work 2 days.
Okay. I'm sure that's office workers, not you know.
Well, it isn't people working in the fulfillment centers.
Yeah, I mean, you can't do that in fulfillment centers. How are you going to work from home?
Yeah.
But I mean, that is a whole nother thing that's changing. America is totally going to be different going forward.
All right, I'm going to go off the board a little bit. I'm
All right.
going to talk about for a quick minute Twitter. This
Twitter?
Twitter is doing some interesting stuff, and it was brought to my attention by some of the folks over at the Gilmore Gang.
Some people at Twitter.
I will honestly admit I haven't been looking at much about Twitter for a long time because, quite honestly, most of the stuff that's there is people just trying to push their own stuff. Or look at me, and so I really don't get into it. But Twitter has done a lot of like acquisitions, and they bought that review newsletter piece. Now they're integrated in. They got Twitter Spaces. They're becoming, as my buddy Keith Tier says, like a place where creators of content and consumers of content do meet and kind of gravitate towards each other. So I don't know if you've been checking out like the renaissance in newsletters, but it's kind of hard to miss it. Substack has kind of brought it back, made it popular. They're even like Substack is paying big time, used to be reporters at big time outlets and people that have big blog followings to use their platform to have a bunch of content on that one site. They're paying like upwards of $200,000 to people to go from like working at the New York Times blog to starting their own blog using their platform and creating unique content. And so there's just been this like huge renaissance in newsletters. And then Twitter buys Review, which is kind of a Substack competitor. And on its own, Review wasn't really a whole lot to write home about, but underneath the Twitter umbrella, the foundation, and being able to kind of connect the content dots, you got Twitter Spaces, you've got Review, you got Twitter Premium, where Twitter is playing with the idea of allowing for premium subscriptions, and all of a sudden, Twitter went from being like a place you only go when something hot is going on and that's how you get notified, to like creating a bit of a platform for creators in a different way than I've seen creator platforms created. I just think it's kind of interesting. I don't know if they'll be able to pull it off, but it's kind of interesting to see that they're trying to build something that they weren't successful doing in previous years, which is creating a place where people actually spend time aggregating, either creating content or consuming content, far beyond like the Twitter bomb that goes off when there's some kind of new development going on. I just think it's pretty interesting. Apparently you don't.
Not really. I would love to be like excited, but it makes sense. But I mean, if you can't get nobody to give you money to read your regular blog sites anymore, New York Times, then you create a newsletter, and Twitter puts a button up. It's like OnlyFans for video, link trees for Instagram. So yeah, I could see that.
So it's I think you're right. Although I don't know much about OnlyFans except for I saw some TV show talking about it. But I think it's you hear all this stuff about the creator economy.
Yep.
And it seems like YouTube has got it down pat already. But it's interesting to see how Twitter is going about or thinking about going about doing something that attracts that audience, that group.
Or they're already there.
Well, they're already there, but they don't stay there. They don't do much there other than read a tweet and then you hit a link and then you're off to another site. This is a little different.
I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, that's been the lifeblood for reporters and news hacks for since it's been out. So it does make sense. I mean, Maybe this is Twitter getting back to its own core.
Well, but it never. So if you have a review newsletter, now you can create a link in your tweet to your newsletter, which keeps you on a Twitter property.
What, the newsletter is inside of Twitter?
Twitter bought Review about 6 or 7 months ago.
So Review is something that I
Review
don't know.
Twitter property. But
I don't know what that is.
Check out Substack. Check out. There's a whole bunch of these newsletter creating services.
Okay. So
Twitter
I mean,
bought
are you saying that if I pay for this newsletter, it comes out on Twitter?
Review is a newsletter platform that Twitter bought. You can create a review newsletter for free. Now Twitter looks like it's
how does that keep me on Twitter?
Review is a Twitter property now. So you read the newsletter
on Twitter,
right? Well, on the Twitter platform,
which is Review,
right?
But
exactly.
How does that keep me?
Review is a Twitter property.
Okay, so I get that. I get that.
So you're stuck. So you're.
It's like if Uber bought a pizza shop. Just because I eat at the pizza shop doesn't mean I'm riding in an Uber. So I'm trying to figure out how is this.
Twitter has never been a destination site. People get an alert, get a tweet, then they click on a link, and then they're off to another property. This time,
now they're off to another property that Twitter owns. Exactly. Oh, okay.
All right. So you got Twitter Spaces that forces people to stay on a Twitter property for a certain amount of time. You got Review, which is now giving people.
Right. But let me ask you this: in Twitter Spaces, you make a comment, it shows up on Twitter.
Twitter Spaces, you're sitting there listening or you're speaking.
So you can't make any comments.
No, but you're on the property. If you're just listening to a couple of dudes talk, and it could be like a couple of people talking I was on one. It's like 2 hours long. People come and stay. Sometimes they get promoted to a speaker and then they join. Some people just lurk and listen. But
so you like this?
I'm saying that it's interesting to see Twitter finally trying to figure out how to become a destination site rather than a site that takes you from one click from a tweet to somewhere else. It could be a New York Times article or Washington Post article. It could be whatever. All those things aren't owned by Twitter. Now they're creating opportunities for their content for content could drive actual people staying on their property for more than a click away. Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Thanks, Josh. Yeah. Thanks for hanging out.
Thanks, Josh. Yeah, no, that's not what.
If I'm just laughing, it's like, oh no, that's not it.
It's just I mean, you buy something and you drive people to it. I don't see that as that revolutionary, personally.
I'm not saying revolutionary. I'm saying it's interesting to see Twitter finally trying to figure out a business model that could potentially work beyond advertising. That's what I'm interested in. Not this, and it's like if you people are doing a lot of interesting stuff with these newsletters. Some of them are. This one guy I follow, I signed up to his free newsletter. He's got like 150,000 people on his free newsletter. Then he offered a premium newsletter, and like a certain percentage of the folks stepped up. So all of a sudden, he went from a free 150,000. I think it was like he got like 10,000 subscribers to the premium. All of a sudden, he started making like $100,000 a month because he was able to leverage that free newsletter into a premium offering. And I think I will not be surprised if Twitter finds a way to do that, lure some people away with a cheaper percentage cut. And all of a sudden you start seeing more and more content being created from a Twitter property. Yeah, it's interesting to see how they're moving.
Internet marketers were doing that in the 90s.
Well, do we really need to bring them into the?
I'm just saying, it's not like it's some new business model.
I don't want to talk about banana.
We've been doing that, man.
Or that other guy,
start.
the guy that looks
Do
like
not
Scott
start.
Baio's cousin.
Do not see.
You the one that
You
brought
got
it.
I just said internet marketing, and you start
That's all you
going
need
in
to
on
do.
Tony.
I didn't call out any names. I just said banana hands. That's all I'm saying.
Dude, seriously,
All right.
you
All
need
right.
a nap.
I need to. We need to.
You need a
end
nap.
we need to cut it off because it is about 6 o'clock. It's been a good hour. Lots of good conversation. Lots of good participation from our buddies.
Hey, thank you everybody for participating. We're actually getting,
Getting what?
people to join into the conversation now.
We need to find out who this guy is, Ken Caddy. He kind of just rolled up in here. And where's Meredith at?
We haven't seen Meredith in months, man.
Man, Meredith just dropped us.
We're gonna have to catch up on her in Facebook somewhere.
Dropped us like we bad habits or something.
Man, you never know what's going on with folks, but
yeah, that's true.
I wonder where she's at.
We'll find her. We'll find her. And you also got your cousin. We didn't even see your cousin talking today.
No, you didn't see her.
Claire Juliet. Yes, Claire Juliet is. I've never met her face to face, but she works over at SAS, and we've had a couple of worked on a project, and she's a champion for small and medium sized businesses. So thank you for checking it out, Claire Juliet. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, if we offended you.
You mean if he offended you?
Yeah, it was probably Brent.
If he offended you, don't hold it out on over me.
Yeah, it was probably his issue.
Anyway, all right, folks. So you're going to be on location next week, right? Aren't you
on location in Atlanta, Georgia?
What's going on? Your first
speaking gig of the year, man. First live speaking event, TSP, Traffic Sales and Profit Live, run by Lamar and his lovely wife, and they do they deal with championing small businesses, really, and I happen to be coaching over there and going to do a thing on brand to Amazon, how to bring your brand to Amazon.
By the way, is Banana Hands going to be there?
Stop. You know what? I'm going to get him on you for real. I'm going to get him on here. I'm going to get him on the show and then put the two of you together.
Nope.
And you are going to see the power of Tony Robbins.
See the power those big banana hands do has. Anyway, I hope everybody has a great weekend. Enjoy yourself. We will be back next week. He'll be on location. You can be in some hotel doing this. Be interesting to see how that works.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
But anyway, see you next week. Thanks for checking us out.
Peace.